Hello everyone, welcome back once again. I am Nicodemus Kane. Today is December the 22nd of 2022. What happened yesterday? Well, the Ukrainian whatever he is, President whoever he is, Zelensky, went to the White House. We were talking about watching the dual numbers, the dual reverse numbers, the winter solstice. And sure enough, you had a money laundering racketeer pulled into the White House, pulled into Congress, pulled into all these places so that they could sell you the lie that they need to send more money to these people for whatever absurd reason. Your money. It's not enough that, they have to send, $60 million a day to NASA, the deception arm of the United States government, or that they have to send, $2 billion, $3 billion to Israel every year so that they can continue to prosper way more than we do. Or, what was the 300,000, 500,000, I don't remember how much it was, that has to go to Kenya for gender studies? African nations, $500,000 for gender studies. It's not enough that they have to take your tax money, your slave money, in order to do all that. They have to bring in the money laundering racketeer that we've already sent well over $20 billion to. This little tiny pissant country that has nothing to do with anything, that for some reason, because Russia, who has been warning us for 20 years now that, the Ukraine has biological, what's the word I'm looking for? Biological disease centers all throughout the entire country, who has been warning us that they are doing all of these different things just over the border inside of Ukraine, that Russia has been warning the people about. Everybody, you can go back 20, 30 years and you can find these articles where Russia has said, well, Ukraine's doing this, Ukraine's doing that. And then, of course, nobody can find anything. And then, it heats up over the past 5 or 6 years. And then suddenly everybody's in shock, like, oh, what's Russia doing? Well, what do you think they're doing? They've only been telling you that this stuff has been happening. Of course, that's false news now. You can't even mention that stuff without getting an info tag on you. But they're out there. Those articles are out there. That's unfortunately one of the problems with having all of your information on the internet, is that anything can be scrubbed, deleted, or changed anytime they want it to. It's like I said, they've been warning about this. They have all these what is the term I'm looking for? I'm not going to use the whole gain of function nonsense. That is like the dumbest term I've ever heard in my life. I don't want to say biological warfare centers. They're just, disease control centers. But no, they've been warning about it forever. And then suddenly out of the blue, it's just like, oh, why is Russia even talking about attacking? Well, duh, what do you think? But we've sent this little tiny pissant country, which has nothing to do with anything. We've sent them over $20 billion now, I think, so that they can fight this war, so that we can all be distracted from whatever it is that they're doing, Money that we need. Money that we need in our country so that we can help fix what's going on here. But no, we have to have our quote-unquote Federal Reserve, the money changers that have nothing to do with the actual United States government. We have to have them print money out and then charge us interest for printing that money out. And then we can send it over to the Ukraine so that they can do whatever the hell it is they do. I've seen the videos inside of Ukraine where they're all happy and healthy and having fun. And I've seen old boy Zelensky dancing and playing around and, you know, making music videos. And people buy it because people are stupid. I just admit it. Your average Joe Schmo is just dumb enough to believe it. They're dumb enough to go out and raise their blue and yellow flags, even though that you've been color coded over the past 5 years to be brainwashed by blue and yellow, so that whenever somebody waves a blue and yellow flag in front of your face, you have a subconscious mental response to that. You've been coded in blue and yellow for the past 5 years, slowly but surely. It's been there. Somebody on BitChute did a video where it was commercials, it was magazine ads, it was billboard ads. We have a billboard that when you travel into Indianapolis on highway, 74, you travel into Indianapolis on 74, there's a billboard there that's been sitting there for 5 years. I know it's been sitting there for 5 years. That it was yellow and blue. And every time I pass it now, all I can think of is, man, they were really coding that without us even really thinking about it. But they have. Other than the fact that they've been, you know, slowly brainwashing you into understanding the word Pfizer for the past 5 years, because every news agency, every news show, to just about every major televised show on TV for the past well, I'd say 5 years. Yeah, 5-6 years has been sponsored by Pfizer. They've been getting you ready, convincing your brain to, you know, subconsciously triggering your brain to understand that these are keywords that are coming. Things that you should learn how to trust. This is how the brainwashing works. This is how the manipulation works. This is why people believe it, because it's a slow, gradual burn to instill these things into your head. You don't know it, you don't see it, because it means nothing to you at the time. But like a radio station, like a pop radio station that plays a song every hour on the hour to slowly get you to like it, to slowly get you to put it in your brain. That's how they do it. They get it in there. No matter how much you hate that song, no matter how much you hate those colors, no matter how much you hate Pfizer, no matter how much you hate anything, they will slowly put it in your system. And slowly but gradually, your mind gets used to it. This is why predictive programming is a thing. This is why conspiracy theorists can go back 30, 40, 50 years and look at television shows, and they can point out where clocks on the wall say 9/11, or where clocks on the wall will say 2:01, or where clocks on the wall will say 5:01, or clocks on the wall say 3 o'clock. Just about every animated show you see, if you look at a clock in the background, it will say 3 o'clock. Why does it say 3 o'clock? Because it's a 33. You got the big hand at the 12, you got the little hand at the 3. It's a 33. You're slowly being conditioned. It's a slow burn. And if it's not 33, it might be a 230. What's a 230? Well, the hand is probably pointing closer to a 3 than anything else, and the big hand is pointing towards a 6. That's 3-6. It's 666. Oh, you're just looking too far into it. No, I'm not looking too far into it. This is there constantly. You have to understand how these things work. Not just animated shows, but actual shows. You look in the background of shows, and you will see the hands on the clock. One will probably be pointing at a 9, the other one will be pointing at an 11. Oh, but that's not real. That's, the clocks don't work that way. Yes, they do. The clocks absolutely work that way because they have to stop the clocks when they film movies, when they film TV shows. If they didn't stop the clocks, you would see that time constantly goes back and forth because they edit movies like crazy. They edit TV shows like crazy, so they have to purposely stop the clock. It is not a coincidence that these people purposely stop the clocks whenever the hands go a certain way. These numbers, numerology, no matter how many times I have people come to me and tell me that numbers mean nothing, that numerology means nothing, that all of this encoding that we've seen, all of this predictive programming that we've seen for however many years that they've been planning these things, no matter how many times people tell me that it's not real, I can simply go back in time, watch these old shows, watch these old movies, and see it. And it's there. And it's constantly there. Over and over and over again. The numbers are always there. 33, 23, 923, 72, 44, 42, 105, 101, 201, 501. Any switch between them. Over and over and over. You've been manipulated and brainwashed into seeing these things. And your mind wants to deny it because you have been programmed to think that coincidences just don't happen like that. That there's no way that... Okay, let's try this one. You've been convinced that human beings are so dumb that nobody could ever think of this. That's fact. You are programmed to understand math and algebra in a dumb way, in the stupidest way possible, so that you won't ask questions about how the numerology works, about what any of it works. You're not told symbology in school. You're not told the way that they are told mathematics. I don't even know the way they're told mathematics. There are people out there that do. There are people out there that they have figured it out. I'm not one of them. I don't know, that's not my cup of tea. I see the numbers, though. I see the truth. I see the things in the background, and I understand how the surface level of it works. But we're not told the things that the one percenters, the elitists, the families, we're not told how it works. They know this stuff. They're taught differently. They go to different schools. They're raised to think differently about everything. We're just told enough through the... Is it Polish? It's not Polish. What is it? the educational system, I cannot remember where it started, but we are told just enough so that when we grow up, we can be good little worker ants and not question authority and not question anything more than what we read in an SOP, standard operating procedure. We're not told to, or we're told to simply go to work, do our job, and read our instructions on what to do that day and do it. And that's it. And you get used to that over and over. They trick your brain into doing that. That's why high school, I'm probably getting too far into this. That's why they take all of your classes that you take, high school, middle school, and they divide them up so that you have a different teacher, a different teaching style, and a different subject every hour on the hour. Bam, bam, bam. They segment your mind so that you can't get any real learning in any one place for any length of time before the bell rings, and like a good Pavlov's dog, you instantaneously forget everything you just learned so that you can go on to the next place, so that you can spend another hour learning something so that when that bell goes off, you immediately forget it yet again. Go on to the next thing. It's segmenting your mind. Breaking your mind is what it's doing. I woke up feeling pretty good today. I really did. It's only been since I've been sitting here that I've been getting. I need to clean some stuff up in here. Get rid of some of the crap. Get rid of some of the dust. Definitely need to sweep this floor. Yikes. But no, that's how they've done it. They've slowly tricked you and manipulated you into believing that this this war in the Ukraine is something that you need to give a damn about. They've tricked you and manipulated you into thinking that they are the good guys and they're doing any amount of good for you whatsoever. But it's not. And they're laughing at you the whole way. They're laughing at you. And they're taking every bit of your money in order to do it. You're the one paying for it. You're the one paying for the garbage and the lies of this place. And anytime anybody ever speaks up about it, nobody wants to hear it. Because they'd rather live in their own unrighteousness. They don't want to hear the truth. Hearing the truth means that they would have to change their lives. Nobody wants to do that. They want their bread and circuses. They like their bread and circuses. They've been manipulated to and lied to into thinking that that's their only escape, is their bread and circuses, their football, their basketball, their baseball, their reality shows. They're scripted reality shows. And while it's nice to have it there, you have to learn how to moderate it. Not only that, but you have to learn how to see the programming inside of the shows. But people don't do that. People don't want to do that. Again, I've had so many people say, oh, it's not real. It's not true. It's not anything that, if I can't see it, it must not be real. Well, then learn how to see it. It's not that hard. Anytime you see a clock in the background, anytime you see a number in the background, anytime you see a number in the foreground, just write it down. any movie, any TV show, anywhere, ever. Just write it down or keep it in your mind. You will find a pattern over and over again, the same numbers. That's how they communicate with each other. I don't know how. I don't know why. It's just a way for them to say, yes, this movie is sponsored by the people that, the families. Maybe the numbers correspond with certain families. Hell, I don't know. I know a lot of people say, well, 33 is the Mason number and, 23 is this and that and that. Okay, maybe, sure. But what if they also mean family numbers? What if it's something else? I don't know. What if there's some kind of a meaning to whenever the numbers are used? 101, when I see a 101 pop up on a television show or a movie or something, I know that it is a brainwashing or manipulation. Something that they are trying to instill into our heads. Because 101 is the number of brainwashing. Room 101. Anytime you go to class, especially in the upper tiers, the upper levels, it is Algebra 101. English 101. Everybody will say, well, what about 201, 301, 401? Okay, whatever, fine. But the first one is 101. It's been like that for a while. And when you watch TV shows and you see 101 and 10, maybe the clock will read 10:01, 10:01 or 10:05 or whatever it is, you get that understanding. And it can be that the character in the show is supposed to be getting some kind of understanding, or it is something that they're saying that they want the audience to be able to take away. It's in there, though. I could keep going on about it, but I'm actually, it's like I said, I was just fine until I started talking. My nose has started clogging itself up again, and my throat is starting to bother me again. I was feeling good. I really was. I was like, heck, man, maybe I've actually kicked this cold, but it's still kind of there. So, anyways, let's read Jeremiah 19. But yes, that's what happened yesterday, is, a money laundering racketeer came to the White House and pleaded for more money. He had the balls to plead for more money. This loser in his camouflage pants and his ridiculous green t-shirt. I don't know why. Why is it supposed to make it look like you're like a third world country or something? Is that what it's there for? I've never seen the dude in anything nice. He's always been in like, the Joe Blow, t-shirt with like the pocket, on the front. And it's, you look at it and you're just like, what the, who? That's like, Bob that lives down the street, that, the slob that sleeps on his couch. He just, is that what it is? They're trying to make him look like the everyman, maybe? I don't know. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I've only seen him wear two things. I've seen him wear those stupid camo pants and the green shirt, and I've seen him wear that weird kinky fetish garbage that he wore in that video that one time. These are the people that you allow them to give your money to. You don't get to bitch and moan about inflation. You don't get to bitch and moan about the price of goods. You don't get to bitch and moan about your small businesses going under. You don't get to bitch and moan about all these things. Why? Because you won't get off your ass and go do something about it. Everybody just wants to sit and believe the lie that it's all going to get better. No, they've already played their hand. It's going to get worse until you do something about it. And because you're not willing to do anything about it, you are jeopardizing your future, your children's future, and your grandchildren's future. I can't do it by myself. Other people can't do it by themselves. But there are so many people right now that are just sitting on their hands doing nothing. There are so many patriots right now that are sitting on their hands doing nothing, and they've been doing nothing for 2 years. 2 years. We're going on 3 years. We have 3 months until we hit the 3-year mark of the biggest lie, second biggest lie ever put up against the American public. The world. Now, the world. Let's just say it that way. The world. Because the whole world has fallen for this garbage. And they keep falling for this garbage. Over and over and over. And all it's doing is tearing you down. Are you going to do something about it or not? You have the ability. The American people have the ability to step up to this. And once America steps up to it, everybody else will step up to it. All I ever heard a year ago was every other country, Europe, London, Germany, Sweden, everybody making videos saying, America, if you step up, we can step up. They're waiting for us. But everybody's too interested in football, too interested in basketball, too interested in sending all of our money out to NASA, sending all our money out to the Ukraine. Because none of you wake up. Because it's like the Bible says. You would rather believe the lie than hear any truth. Because living the lie lets you live in your own unrighteousness. And that's where you're going to be. So, chapter 19, it's just one full, it's, 15 verses? 15 verses, no breaks. So, I figured this will probably be an easy one to do. We'll be able to go through it and then go through it a second time, and I should be done. So, that's why I kind of took a little, took 30 minutes at the beginning of this to be able to talk. Alright. Yes, like I said, my throat and my nose, if I gotta stop, I gotta stop. It is what it is. Alright, Jeremiah 19. Thus saith the Lord, go and get a potter's earthen bottle, and take of the ancients of the people, and of the ancients of the priests, and go forth unto the valley of the son of Hinnom, which is by the entry of the east gate, and proclaim there the words that I shall tell thee, and say, hear ye the word of the Lord, O kings of Judah, and inhabitants of Jerusalem. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, behold, I will bring evil upon this place, the which whosoever heareth, his ears shall tingle. Because they have forsaken me, and have estranged this place, and have burned incense in it unto other gods, whom neither they nor their fathers have known, nor the kings of Judah, and have filled this place with the blood of innocents. They have built also the high places of Baal, to burn their sons with fire for burnt offerings unto Baal, which I commanded not, nor spake it, neither came it into my mind. Therefore, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that this place shall no more be called Topheth, nor the valley of the son of Hinnom, but the valley of slaughter, And I will make void the counsel of Judah and Jerusalem in this place. And I will cause them to fall by the sword before their enemies, and by the hands of them that seek their lives. And their carcasses will I give to be meat for the fowls of the heaven and for the beasts of the earth. I'm going to take a break. Hold on a second. Just a quick drink to make sure that my throat doesn't close up, because I felt the tickle. So, verse 8. And I will make this city desolate and an hissing. Every one that passeth thereby shall be astonished and hiss because of all the plagues thereof. And I will cause them to eat the flesh of their sons and the flesh of their daughters. And they shall eat every one the flesh of his friend in the siege and straitness, wherewith their enemies and they that seek their lives shall straiten them. Then shalt thou break the bottle in the sight of the men that go with thee, and shalt say unto them, Thus saith the Lord of hosts, Even so will I break this people and this city, as one breaketh a potter's vessel, that cannot be made whole again. And they shall bury them in Topheth, till there be no place to bury. Thus will I do unto this place, saith the Lord, and to the inhabitants thereof, and even make this city as Topheth. And the houses of Jerusalem and the houses of the kings of Judah shall be defiled as the place of Topheth, because of all the houses upon whose roofs they have burned incense unto all the host of heaven, and have poured out drink offerings unto other gods. Then came Jeremiah from Topheth, whither the Lord had sent him to prophesy. Then came Jeremiah from Topheth, whither the Lord had sent him to prophesy. And he stood in the court of the Lord's house, and said to all the people, Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, Behold, I will bring upon this city, and upon all her towns, all the evil that I have pronounced against it, because they have hardened their necks, that they might not hear my words. All right. There's some stuff in there. It's pretty heavy. There's some other stuff that we've heard before, but it all means something. And I am not doing so good today. You can hear it. It's not the best, but we're going to talk about this stuff. All right, going all the way back up to the top. It's only 15 verses. It's not that bad. Thus saith the Lord, Go and get a potter's earthen bottle, and take of the ancients, of the people, and of the ancients of the priests. So go get a potter's earthen bottle, go get a pot, and take of the ancients of the people and the ancients of the priests. I'm guessing that means let's look it up. Why not? I'm thinking it has something to do with the writings of the priests and the people, but the elderly, that's what it means. So he's saying, go take a pot and take all of the elderly of the people and of the priests, and go forth unto the valley of the son of Hinnom, which is by the entry of the east gate, and proclaim there the words that I shall tell thee. The son of Hinnom. Hinnom means lamentation. It's a valley with steep rocky sides located southwest of Jerusalem, separating Mount Zion to the north from the hill of evil counsel, and the sloping rocky plateau of the plain of Rephaim to the south. Hinnom. Wait a minute. I want to look this up. It's Gehenna. It's the place of torment. So, the Hill of Evil Counsel, is that the... Oh, that's nice. That's good. The Hill of Evil Counsel. Guess what the Hill of Evil Counsel is? The home of Jerusalem's UN headquarters. If they don't just put it in your face, then the Hill of Evil Counsel, it's a book. Guess who the book is by? Amos Oz, O-Z. That they put it right in your face. That's constantly. The Hill of Evil Counsel is the home of the UN's headquarters. What am I doing here? What is this? The Hill of Evil Counsel, preserving an ancient heritage. Oh my God. What is this? Come on now. So this says it's the traditional site of Caiaphas' conspiracy to execute Yeshua. The Hill of Evil Counsel was named during the Byzantine era as the traditional site of Caiaphas' conspiracy to execute Yeshua, Jesus. Okay, and that came from the definition of Hinnom, which was a valley southwest of Jerusalem, separating Mount Zion to the north from the Hill of Evil Counsel and the sloping rocky plateau of the Plain of the Rephaim. The Plain of the Rephaim was the valley. That was the area that was promised to... That was part of the area that was promised to Moses and the Israelites, because that was when they came down and they went down into the valley and the guys brought back the bad report. And they brought back the grapes that had to be carried. The one bundle of grapes that had to be carried between two people. You know, that part in the Bible that you tend to skip over, that nobody really ever talks about. You know, oh, they brought a bad report, so, you know, they had no faith to be able to go down, and everybody was scared to go down because they were lying. No, they weren't lying. You skipped over the part where they had two guys come back and they were bringing back one bundle of grapes carried on a stick between two people. You missed that part. But it's the Plain of Rephaim, giants. So this is the valley between the two hills, between Mount Zion and the Hill of Evil Counsel, where they planned to kill Jesus. That's so... you know, you learn something new every day. But at the same time, it's the home of Jerusalem's UN headquarters. Oh my goodness. I can't even do this anymore. It's just, sometimes you get so deep into this stuff, you're just like, what is this? They put it right in your face. So yes, he took all the old people. He took all the old people and the ancients of the people, the ancients of the priests. He took all the elderly and went forth into the valley of the son of Hinnom, which is by the entry of the east gate, and proclaimed there the words that I shall tell thee. Verse 3, and say, hear ye the word of the Lord, O kings of Judah, and inhabitants of Jerusalem. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, behold, I will bring evil upon this place, and whosoever... Let's try this again. Behold, I will bring evil upon this place, the which whosoever heareth, his ears shall tingle. Because they have forsaken me, and have estranged this place, and have burned incense in it unto other gods, whom neither they nor their fathers have known. I just want my throat to stop hurting. That's all it is. It's a tickle right in the front. And you could feel it build up, you know? You know how you get that... Angie says that hers is just, it just comes on suddenly. It's like, I'm like, no, I can feel mine. It just builds slowly but surely. And you think that you can get through it. And you think that you can kind of hold it back, but then it's like right there and it hurts. So anyways, thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, Behold, I will bring evil upon this place, in which whosoever heareth, his ears shall tingle. Because they have forsaken me, and have estranged this place, and have burned incense in it unto other gods, whom neither they nor their fathers have known, nor the kings of Judah, and have filled this place with the blood of innocents. It keeps happening. I keep coughing. I swear if this keeps going, I'm going to stop. I officially have a cough drop in my mouth now. So if you hear this rattling away of a cough drop hitting my teeth, you know why. Which is worse, you'll probably hear me swallowing every so often too, which I hate that noise. Could never stand that noise, but it is what it is, man. My throat is raw. Okay. So because they have forsaken me, they have estranged this place, and have burned incense in it to other gods. I was listening to, what's that guy's name? Yesterday, YouTube started suggesting videos to me that I have not seen nor heard from in years. One of them was a true Bible believer. He's not Hebrew roots. He's not, apostolic or anything. He just, he truly believes the Bible. He has a lot of concepts of the Bible that are extremely similar to mine. It's almost word for word. I don't know how much of his stuff I've actually listened to. But it was the YouTube algorithm, because yesterday we were only 4 days out from Christmas, started handing me all of the anti-Christmas videos. And so I get in there and I'm listening to him, and he had a couple of them on there about birthdays, about the witchcraft that we use when we celebrate birthdays. And he was talking about lighting candles, blowing candles, making the wishes, blowing the candles, putting an intention onto the blowing of candles. Now, he didn't say it directly, but it popped into my head that what you're doing when you're blowing out a candle, whether you really understand it or not, and there's a lot of people that are going to say, no, that's not how it works. No, that's kind of how it works, is that you are creating the concept of burning incense. Whether you know it or not, there's a lot of people that will disagree and say, well, no, see, incense has to have a certain scent. It has to, it's made a certain way. It's you are blowing out a fire and creating smoke. I don't care if it has a smell to it or not. There is an intention of witchcraft in that is burning incense. Even the concept of blowing out a candle on a birthday cake is burning incense to other gods. Oh, no, you're just looking too far into it. Well, if you think I'm looking too far into it, that's fine. But your Bible constantly warns about these things, about knowing what you're doing. I mean, it's not just, I'm going to set up an altar and I'm going to set up all these little idols and I'm going to set up all this other stuff, and then I'm going to actually physically burn incense. Remember, the devil doesn't play fair. That even the simplest concept of making a wish, putting the intention of wishing for something onto a candle and blowing it out, is creating an incense burned to other gods. You can think that's looking so far into it that it's out of control, but we have to take every single little bit of it now as a spiritual battle, as a spiritual war. Every single thing that we do in this world that is not biblical, that is not of God, is only made to ruin men. Remember, everything that man creates is vanity. It is only for ourselves, and it is only there to serve other gods. This is a spiritual battle. We have to be careful what we do and how we do it. But getting back onto the point. Back to verse 4. And I burn incense in it unto the gods, whom neither they nor their fathers have known. They burned it to gods that they did not know. Yet again, you don't need to have the thing the guy was saying, the dude yesterday was saying, what's his, Christopher Johnson, I think is his name. Some of the things I agree with that he says, and some of the things I'm like, really, dude? But, and he's on YouTube. Like I said, Christopher Johnson. What was the name of the... What was the name of his ministry? Creation Liberty Evangelism. Okay. Now again, I don't believe in everything he says, and he hasn't posted in a year. So, some of his stuff is... a lot of his stuff is several years old, but he has a lot of things about, like I said, Christmas and the witchcraft of birthdays and all kinds of other stuff. And again, 90% of it I believe. There's that 10% of it that I'm like, eh. But he was on it with the birthday things, with the witchcraft things. I've heard these things before. Remember that birthdays within themselves, the one true religion that says that you should celebrate birthdays above all other holidays is Satanism, because that was the day that you got birth into this world. That should be considered the best day of your life, is your birthday. We should be considering death to be the best day of our life, because that's whenever we finally get to leave this world and go to a better place. But that's, you can argue that one all day too. And yes, a cough drop helps. So, anyways. But it also always says, whom neither they nor their fathers have known. They're burning incense to gods they don't know about. You don't need the intention of witchcraft for the spells to work. There are several witches that I've known, that this guy even said, that I've even read, that says you don't need the intentions. You just need to do the practice. And it works. It brings forth whatever it was that you were trying to do. Putting an intention on it doubles the spell. It doubles the spell casting. Because I hear a lot of people say, well, I can follow the rituals as long as I'm not putting any intention into it. It's like, no, you're still following the ritual. It's, when a witch puts a spell on something, that spell doesn't go away until they take it off. It stays there forever. The symbology that you've had for years upon years upon years, somebody put a spell on that, and it's never gone away. You are unknowingly doing these things. Your Bible even says it. Gods they didn't know. You're unknowingly worshiping gods you don't even know. That's part of the trick. Satan doesn't play fair. And we've been lied to about it. We've been told that these things are good. These things are good. These things are fine. They'll give you happy, joy feelings way down deep in your heart. You want to do it for the pleasure of yourself and the pleasure for your family. In the meantime, though, it's tearing you down. Oh, but no, it doesn't work that way. It's fine. It's not hurt anybody up till this point. Bullshit. You tell me, because the concept of modern Christmas, the concept of modern birthdays, the concept of modern Halloween, the concept of modern Easter, none of these things existed more than 150 years ago. And I'm not just talking about gift giving and all. No. People have been giving gifts all their lives. But birthdays, making cakes, blowing out candles, giving gifts, coloring eggs. The only people that practice those things, that really practice those things, were the pagans. Most of those celebrations were condemned. Christmas was actually banned by the Church of England in the 1800s because the celebrations got out of control. It was too much. But all the other stuff that we do, especially like birthdays, birthday parties, cakes, blowing out candles, that has not been widely practiced. Because somebody can say, well, you look, see, they've been practicing this stuff since the 1600s. Well, again, you probably got that off of Wikipedia, and that's a great place to get information. But no, widely practiced. They were not widely practiced until the past 150 years. And if you think that there is no problem with these things, you look at the past 150 years of life in this world and you tell me if you think that they have done any good or not. Because I can tell you right now, all we've done in the past 150 years is drop. The evil has increased. The good has decreased. People have become worse. Not better, worse, since these things have come into our lives. This is a spiritual battle. This is not a, oh hey, we can do these because they're not hurting anybody. They're just innocent little things that we do. We do it for the children. The children love it. Yeah, you're corrupting the children. You're corrupting the children. And you're causing them to fall. And what happens whenever you cause the children to fall? What happens whenever you cause the society to fall away from God? God says He will send destruction upon you. He will cause all these things to happen. He will let evil snowball continuously because you choose to walk away. You choose to burn incense to other gods that you do not know. You choose to, and I'm not talking about everybody here, but fill this place with the blood of innocents. You don't have to take a child to a statue of Moloch in order to fill the valley with the blood of innocents. All you have to do is commit 50,000 or 50 million. Is it up to 50 million abortions? 50 million abortions in, however many years. That's how you fill the valleys with the blood of innocents. But of course, it gets worse. And again, these are heavy words. Nobody likes hearing this stuff. But it points the finger right at us. And again, that's what these three books do. Isaiah, Jeremiah, and Ezekiel. They point the finger right back at you. This is the mirror that we don't want to see, that Christians, that the majority of Christians don't want to see or hear. This is the mirror right here. Verse 5, they have built also the high places of Baal, to burn their sons with fire for burnt offerings unto Baal, which I commanded not, nor spake it, neither came it into my mind. Baal being just another name for Beelzebub, Balaam, the devil. I actually heard it in a couple different places yesterday, listening to all the Christmas stuff about all of those pagan gods that they worship: Tammuz, Nimrod, Osiris. One of the names they kept coming back to was Baal, because it all ties together. It's all the same stuff. They have built also the high places of Baal, the groves, the Bohemian groves, where they celebrate mock rituals, mock rituals, of slaughtering people and burning them alive. The high places of Baal, where they have the statue of Moloch, where they put the child on the lap of the statue, burn them alive during their winter festivals that come almost directly 9 months after their fertility festivals. I've heard too many stories I've read too many books. I understand too much of this stuff to tell you that it's not just made up. There are stories of the women that go through satanic ritual abuse that will tell you that the men will have sex with the little girls. And then 9 months later, they will have the baby, and as soon as the baby is born, they kill it. That's messed up. I know people don't like to hear that. People don't like to hear that because people don't want to, they want to think that that's the most gruesome and disgusting thing possible, but it's out there. I've heard that story told 4 different ways by 4 different people. You can't get away from this. This evil is out there and it exists. It is not just something that people make up for books and movies and stories. And this really happens. No matter how bad you think it is on the surface, behind closed doors, it's much, much worse. But back in the day, it used to be out in the open. Back in the day, it used to be out in the open. They didn't care. They didn't care because it was a different kind of slave system. They just didn't care. They did it right out in the open. And then when Christ came along and changed everything, it just went away. It went away into the shadows, into the darkness. They started doing it all in secret. It pops out every so often, and people will find it every so often. We'll find the symbolism. We'll find, an email or a batch of emails. And of course, their deception arm will work overtime to constantly tell the people, oh, no, don't worry about it. It's not real. It's just a bunch of whack jobs that, they don't know any better. This is all real. This evil is real. It exists in this world. And not only have they tricked you into thinking that it's not real, they have also tricked you into doing some of these practices. We have to wake up. We have to wake up out of this mess. Verse 6, Therefore, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that this place shall no more be called Topheth, nor the valley of the son of Hinnom, which is, again, the valley of lamentation, but the valley of slaughter. So what is Topheth? Now, I keep saying Topheth, but it's Topheth, and I think Topheth was a place of fire. Why is it a place of fire? Well, it's a place of fire because that's where they burn the kids. But it will be called the Valley of Slaughter, the Valley of Killing, the Valley of Slaughter, because I shall slaughter them because of all the things that they have done. Verse 7, And I will make void the counsel of Judah and Jerusalem in this place, and I will cause them to fall by the sword before their enemies, and by the hand of them that seek their lives. And their carcasses will I give to be meat for the fowls of heaven and for the beasts of the earth. We've heard this one before. Is that he will cause them all to fall, and that their meat will be for the fowls and the beasts of the earth. We've heard this, I think, 3 times now in Jeremiah. In this one, too, we just heard in, what was it, 17 or 18? This is verse 8, though, but we heard this one before. And I will make this city desolate and an hissing. Every one that passeth thereby shall be astonished and hiss because of all the plagues thereof. I don't remember where exactly that was. But it was basically the same thing. Is that what I will do to this city will be so bad that anytime anybody passes by it, they will look at it and they will shake their heads in disgust. And they will say, look at how bad this place was. Look at how awful these people were. Look at the things that they did. I'm so glad that God wiped these people off the earth. And I will cause them to eat the flesh of their sons, and the flesh of their daughters, and they shall eat every one the flesh of his friend in the siege and straitness, wherewith their enemies, and they that seek their lives shall straiten them. Oh, we gotta talk about this. And I will cause them to eat, that is exactly what you think it is, the flesh of the body, which is exactly what you think it is, of their sons and their daughters. That's messed up. But again, I think that's the worst it can get. It can probably get worse than that, but I think cannibalism, and I've said this before about the days of Noah, when the giants were eating the people. Because in some of the stories it says that the giants ate everybody that they could find. And whenever the giants ran out of people to eat, they ate each other. And I think that's where the final evil is the consummation of the flesh. The drinking of the blood. I think that's where the worst of it is. I could be wrong, but the Bible keeps pointing back to this kind of stuff. And he is talking about these people that are doing all these things, that he causes all of this death and destruction to come upon. And then he says, I will cause them to eat the flesh of their sons and daughters. It's terrible to hear. It really is. But again, these people were so far gone to begin with. Sorry about that. And they shall eat everyone the flesh of his friend in the siege and straitness. What is the straitness? The anguish, distress. In the siege and distress wherewith their enemies and they that seek their lives shall straiten them, shall oppress them, distress them, wherewith their enemies shall distress them. So they will lose all of their crops, all of their comfort, all of their excess that the Lord has promised them. They will lose every bit of it. And he will remove that barrier of protection that he has promised, and the enemy shall come in. And during that time, they will have nothing, and they will eat the flesh of their sons and daughters. That's the hard teachings nobody wants to hear. It's hard to even, get into, but I mean, this book points it out. It points out the evils of that world and this world. And it tells you how bad it could get. And people just don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to see it. They just want to be blind to it. And just say, oh no, it'll be all right. God knows my heart. Verse 10. Then shalt thou break the bottle in the sight of the men that go with thee, which, remember, are the elders of the people, and shalt say unto them, Thus saith the Lord of hosts, even so will I break this people, and this city, as one breaketh a potter's vessel, that cannot be made whole again. And they shall bury them in Tophet. Okay, and they shall bury them in Tophet, till there be no place to bury. Thus will I do unto this place, saith the Lord, and to the inhabitants thereof, and even make this city as Tophet. And the houses of Jerusalem and the houses of the kings of Judah shall be defiled as the place of Tophet, because of all the houses upon whose roofs they have burned incense unto all the host of heaven, and have poured out drink offerings unto other gods. Upon whose roofs they have burned incense. Unto all the host of heaven. Are they doing it to God? No, they're doing it to the host of heaven. Who's the host of heaven? Well, it's the other angels. To the wandering stars. They name them after gods. Jupiter, Saturn, Mars, Uranus. They name them after gods because they worship them more than they worship the Father. And again, poured out drink offerings. You pour it out on the ground. You pour it to the dead. You pour your drink out to the dead, saying, "Oh, here you go, buddy. Here's one more drink." You are pouring your drink offering to the dead, unwillingly knowing you're probably pouring it out to a god. A god that, what was it again? A god that you did not know, nor your fathers knew. Then came Jeremiah, this is 14. Then came Jeremiah from Tophet, whither the Lord had sent him to prophesy. And he stood in the court of the Lord's house, and said to all the people, now he was back in the temple, the court of the Lord's house, Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, Behold, I will bring upon this city, and upon all her towns, all the evil that I have pronounced against it, because they have hardened their necks, that they might not hear my words. This is a child. Jeremiah was a child. Plucked him out of nowhere. A kid that didn't know any better. Told him to take all the elders out into the valley of Hinnom, where the elders had to have known that these people were burning incense to other gods, causing their children to pass over the fires, doing all these evil things. The elders had to, the elders of the priests, the elders of the peoples, they had to have known. They had to have seen it. And Jeremiah took the pot, and he said, and God tells me, as simple as me breaking this pot, he will break this people, and it will never be put back together the same again, because you have all turned against me. And then he came back in, and he said to the people, to everyone left in the city, he said, because you have all turned away from me, because you have hardened your necks, because you won't hear my words, you won't even listen, because you take pleasure in not listening, you revel in not listening, you take pride in doing evil, you parade it out in the streets, you parade it out in front of all the world, you show all the world how much you enjoy the evils that you cause and you do. Because of that, I will bring this evil and destruction upon you. Did they hear it? Probably not. Just like everybody else, they don't ever want to hear it. You know, why do I say they didn't hear it? Well, it's because in Jeremiah 18:18, then said they, come and let us devise devices against Jeremiah, for the law shall not perish from the priest. The law shall not perish from the priest. The priest says everything's going to be just fine. The law shall not perish. No, we don't have to worry about it. Nor counsel from the wise. The people that, well, they have enough education to know. They've taken, 8-10 years of schooling. They know better than this kid. Just because this kid comes in here spouting this nonsense, he's not wise enough. His lab coat is not white enough to tell us what he thinks we should know. Nor the word from the prophet. The prophet hasn't told us anything bad's going to happen. The prophet gets his, even though he gets his word from something else, probably some other god from somewhere, he hasn't told us anything bad's going to happen. My psychic that I called on the hotline told me that I'm going to have good things. That I'm going to have good, wise things. My priest, my pastor told me that I should go get the shots. My pastor told me that everything's going to be okay, that I just need to obey my government and ruin my entire life because of some disease. People that are wise tell me that this thing's killing everybody. Do you see how this works? But this kid, he's not learned enough. He doesn't have the experience of the priest. He hasn't spent all of his time in seminary to be able to tell you anything. He hasn't gone to Bible college. He cannot tell you what the book says because he has not spent enough time researching. He can't be wise enough because he hasn't gone to school for long enough. He doesn't have his degree. He can't tell you. Can't be a prophet because he's not telling us good words. Prophets only tell us good words because he doesn't have it in him. Because of all these things, we will devise devices against him. Come, let us smite him with the tongue. Let us speak badly about him. Let us slander his name, so that no one will listen to him, no one will believe him, and let us not give heed to any of his words. That's why they didn't listen. Because he was just a kid, a conspiracy theorist that was brought by God to tell them and show them. He physically showed them like 2 or 3 times. Look, you see this pot right here? Check out this pot. This pot right here. I'm going to take it, I'm going to throw it on the ground, I'm going to break it. And God's going to say, you know what? I'm going to break you just like I broke that pot. And that ain't ever going to come back together again. It ain't ever going to come back together again right. Check his loincloth out that I'm going to wear. And then I'm going to take it and I'm going to bury it by a river. You see how soiled and nasty it is? This is what has happened to you. This is what has happened to you. Something perfect and beautiful and wonderful that you took and you put by a river that you thought was supposed to keep you clean, it made you dirty. What was the other one? I can't remember the other one now. What was the third one? I'm lucky. I know it's sad. I should know this. It's a linen girdle. Yeah, we got that one. There was another one about pots. Oh, go into the going to the to where the potters are making the pots, and the potter screwed one up. It had a problem on it, so he started over. He took it, remolded it, and put it up. And God said, just like this potter is doing with this clay, I can remold you if you will turn back from your evil. You have a spot on you. You have a blemish on you. I can fix it. But now I can't. Once that pot hardens, once you stiffen your neck, here's your lesson for the day. Once that pot hardens, once you stiffen your neck, once you get past that point that you will not listen to me, I can't fix it. But while I'm molding you, while I'm helping you, while I'm making you up, if you have a blemish, I can refix it. I can take that blemish away, and I can remold you and shape you into something better, something more beautiful. It's probably the same damn pot. That's probably exactly what happened, is that God said, go get the pot that you just saw the guy that was making 2 days ago. Go get that same exact pot and take it and go break it. That's probably exactly what it was. That's a good lesson. That's a good lesson. Come on now, it's a good lesson. I like that one. I get the good ones every now and then. I'm like, that's nice. I like that. That's good stuff. Alright, I need to stop. I need to stop. My sinuses and my throat are telling me it's time to stop. This is all clean out, by the way. This is just me trying to clean all the crap out of my system. I'm not sick anymore. It's just, garbage. I feel good. I feel peppy. I feel more peppy than I have in the past week. I feel energized, and unfortunately we're getting like a big snowstorm tonight, so I don't even know if I'll be able to do anything this weekend or not. But at any rate, there you go. It's a good lesson. God can fix you if you're willing to listen, learn, to be remolded, to be reshaped. But once you stiffen yourself, once you harden yourself, once you choose your path to not listen to God, to not be reshaped, remolded, once you harden your heart, once you harden your neck, stiffen your neck, He can't do anything for you, and He will break you, and it will never go back together the same way. Because He will bring that upon anyone. Because they just don't listen. God can do all things. God can take the worst person in the world and turn them around. You just have to choose. You have to choose that. You have to choose to just listen to it. Just hear the truth. Hear the truth. Don't automatically dismiss it because it's something you don't want to hear. Don't automatically dismiss it because it's not coming from people that you call the experts, the priests, the prophets, the wise. That's exactly what that said. That's exactly what that said. And I've said it over and over again. It is... they trusted those people that supposedly had more learning, more understanding, what they considered more understanding of the Bible, of book learning, of fortune telling, astrology, I don't know, however you want to put it. And they listened to those words more than they would listen to the word of God coming from the mouth of a child. And they smite him with, let us smite him with the tongue. Let us defame him. Let us put him down. Let us speak falsely against him so that he will be discredited in all ways, shape, or form, so that he will not have a voice anymore. How true is that in this time, right now? I love you all. God bless. Take care. I'm gonna go get ready for work. You guys take it easy, okay?